A 40-gun frigate from Baltimore came, her guns mounted 40, the Richard by name. When cruising the channel of old England's land, with a noble commander, Paul Jones was the man. Hoorah! Our country forever, hoorah!
Hi, I'm Gerret Warner, and this is my brother Jeff, and we're creators of a show called From the Mountains to the Sea. And it's about our parents' collecting of folk music between 1938 and the 1960s, including from Frank Proffitt, the song Tom Dooley. They were married in 1935 and lived in New York City in Greenwich Village. The people around them were people that were involved in literature and music and the arts. And it became this great association of people, including Carl Karmer and Carl Sandburg. And through Carl Karmer, they met a man named Maurice Matson, who'd been on Beech Mountain and done collecting, and told them about a dulcimer. And it was a dulcimer that sent them down to Beech Mountain on their very first trip. They wanted one just like that.
Hang your head, Tom Dooley, hang your head and cry. Kill little R.E. Foster, now you're bound to die.
They met Frank Proffitt on the first day they went to Watauga County in 1938. And Frank Proffitt, the young carpenter, sang some song about the local moonshine there in Watauga County and an old English ballad. And the third song he sang was about this real murder event that happened in 1868, right after the Civil War, where a guy came back from the Confederate cavalry and murdered one of his girlfriends and was hanged for that, and that was the story of Tom Dooley. And our father said, "What a story," and took that back to his friend. As best he could remember it, Frank Warner took it back to his friend in New York City, Alan Lomax, who was the folk song collector, and sang it to him, who said, in fact, what a story, and put it in a book in 1947 called Folk Song USA, which went around the country. It was the beginning of that story.
Hang your head, Tom Dooley, hang your head and cry. You kill little R.E. Foster, now you're bound to die.
It's been a year since last we met. We may never meet again.
We realized very early on that the songs were inseparable from the people who sang them and the land that created it. You can't, the early scholars were only interested in the texts, not even in the melodies back then.
That's remarkable, but yes.
But it was the text, the literary value of the text. To find these people as early as 38, 39, who were saying, you know, it came out of these people and was preserved and chosen to be preserved because it was relevant to the people here, these people. So let's take a look at how they lived. Let's take a look at how they sustained themselves and what they taught their kids.
I think it's just remarkable that the two of them had such complementary skills. And maybe that's why they got together. But my father was a great performer. He was a good photographer, all self-taught, and documentarian. But our mother was an archivist with a great passion and a sort of literary flair. So she took down everything, unimaginable detail in shorthand because she was a professional secretary.
We like to joke that if our father, who was irresistible and a great musician and a great party man, without him, nothing would have ever been started, you know, but
certainly it wouldn't have been kept as a record.
But if without our mother, none of it would have been recorded. So it would have just been a great party and it would have been gone, evanescent, gone. But with the two of them together, it really, it became something that happened, something that was created, something that made people, rural people, feel comfortable giving, and then it was recorded for posterity.
Then our gunner got frightened, to Paul Jones he came. Our ship is a-sinking likewise in a flame. Then Paul Jones replied in the height of his pride, saying, this day we'll conquer or sink alongside. Hoorah! Our country forever. forever. Hoorah. Paul Jones.